guys, how are you doing today? I was just going live in some of my groups this morning and I wanted to share with you here too a great tip on how to teach your kids to apologize. First of all, we want to teach our children to apologize because relationships matter. Even though they can be messy, they are vital. It's such a really confusing thing because a lot of times we get hurt through relationships by other people. Yet it is through relationships and people that we are healed. And so it's super important that we teach our kids how to make things right whenever they do wrong. We want to teach them ownership, emotional intelligence, all of those good things that are very, very important to have a healthy society. If every family taught their kids how to do this, it would be amazing. So let me give you this tip, how to teach your children how to apologize. So when your child does something wrong, you don't have to force them to apologize literally every single time they make a mistake. That's probably a control issue that you may have if you feel tempted to do that. But when we don't want to shame them either. So when your kid's calm enough, you want to teach them to apologize. Now, sometimes we don't wait till they're calm. They're still upset about something and we try to force them to apologize to us or to somebody else. But then they don't say it like they mean it. They're like, I'm sorry. They're like angry still. And it's like, that's really not productive or helpful for the victim, like whoever they're trying to apologize to. So if you don't want that, wait till they're calm enough before you ask them to apologize. Once they're calmed down and have enough composure over their emotions and you've processed a little bit with them, then you're going to say, okay, you know what? We make mistakes, whether it's on purpose or on accident. But it's okay. The most important thing is what you do to make it right. So here's what you're going to do is you're going to apologize. 3 things. You're going to say, I'm sorry for, and tell them what you're sorry for. Then you're going to say, because it wasn't okay because, and tell them why that wasn't okay. So the first thing is acknowledging what the action was and taking ownership. That's really important, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Sometimes kids are like, but I didn't mean to. Doesn't matter. You hit them in the head, So you want to show that you care. So you're going to apologize for the action, tie it to the connection of why that's important, because this is really expressing empathy. Remember emotional intelligence? We want that in kids. And so we're going to say, I'm really sorry that, that I accidentally hit you in the head with the dodgeball or whatever it is. I'm really sorry for that. It wasn't okay because that could have really hurt you and you're my friend and you matter to me. So have them make that connection of why. And then the third thing is you're going to have them ask, will you forgive me? This is a million times nicer than saying, I'm sorry. You have probably had many situations where you've heard someone tell you, I'm sorry, and that just didn't do it for you, even if they meant it with full sincerity. And it could have been you that you just have a hard time forgiving, or it could be that there's just something different when you go into depths on an apology. In fact, there's a book out there talking about the different types of apologies. Now, you don't have to read the book necessarily, or go, is super into this. Just make it simple. I'm sorry for this because of this. Will you forgive me? Now, when you're doing an invitation, will you forgive me? That person has a right to choose to forgive or not, but it's now their responsibility. I know with my daughters, they have had arguments plenty of times, and there are times when one does not want to receive that apology and the other one gets upset. And they're like, Mom, she won't forgive me. And here's how I respond to it. I will say, you know what? It's okay. You did right. You are good now. You did your part. You owned it. You took responsibility and apologized. Now listen, you are good now. Don't worry about the other person. Like forgiveness, people forgive at different rates. Sometimes people can forgive quickly. Sometimes it takes them a while. And some things that you do that are really big may take them especially a longer time to work it through. But you are good now. All you can do is just still be sweet. But let people have their own emotions. You have no control over them. Now it's up to them to learn how to forgive and walk that out. Some people they may choose to never forgive, but that's not about you anymore. That's on them. So now what you're doing with that conversation is you're teaching them not to own other people's issues. That's super healthy, by the way, and you also are teaching them that people actually do forgive at different rates, but it's their responsibility. Forgiveness is a one-person job. Reconciliation takes 2. So you're teaching your kids at a very young age healthy perspective on relationships and the healing process when it comes to emotions and conflict with other people. So I know this tip was really helpful because it has definitely helped me and my family. So this is going to be something that you can do very easily at all ages. So with little kids, maybe you're teaching them to apologize for throwing a tantrum that lasted 15 minutes or so. Maybe for throwing something across the room like a shoe or a toy when they got angry. Or maybe you're teaching your teenager how to apologize because they ignored their sibling or they were disrespectful to you in some sort of way. So this is really important. You want to teach your kids to apologize before they resume normal activities. So if they just were super awful all day long and you guys are just going about your routine like it's nothing, that's kind of weird, you know? And so you want to make sure that you teach your kids to apologize before you just do everyday stuff. Now, you don't have to be patronizing or shaming. In fact, I recommend you don't do that. But you want to make it safe, emotionally safe for them to admit that they're wrong. That is really important. That's why some people don't apologize, because they have pride. We'll help them on dealing with their pride issues by you making it safe for them to apologize, by not rubbing in their faces and not doing it publicly where you're correcting them in front of everybody. But you're going to pull them aside or in private as much as you can. You're going to say, hey, we want to make it right. That's what we do as a family. You also model it for yourself. So these are really great strategies for every family to implement, because we want to emphasize the key of emotional sensitivity, relational sensitivity.